let's get going. Right, today I had a look at the list. I'm just going to bring it up here. So I've actually got the laptop out here because I'm going to need to refer to a little bit of documentation. But the one thing I really wanted to do is modify the engine loop so it's ready to go. So hence why I've got the laptop over here, because I wanted to just confirm the pinouts of the RB20 versus RB25. So we've got an RB20 engine loom, and we've got an RB25 ECU. So that's gonna, and I believe that there are differences. So in this, I really want to go through and confirm what the differences are, make the changes, but at least get that done. So when it goes back to the and gets fitted into on the engine, hopefully once the engine's actually in the car, it's a plug, right, turn it on, well, plug into the ECU, make sure everything works. So that's the plan. I'll also show you this. So I've pulled up an original wiring diagram, a field service manual, and gone through it and worked out how the factory uses things like the ignition switch, and then what it tends to send power to at each point. So that was the ignition switch, and then also the indicator wiring, and how the hazard button interacts with the flasher relay and also the stalk. Brake wiring is pretty easy. What the ECU needs and the pins that are required as well. RPM, starter motor, alternator, fuel pump, radiator fans, sprayers, gauges, windscreen wipers. So there's still a few questions on some of the, I guess, the lower importance things. But I like to map these things out so I know what I'm doing. And this is one of the ways I go through and try and plan. The other way is using spreadsheets and using colors, so I know what stuff I've done and what stuff I've still got to do. For me, that is my way of kind of staying on top of things, staying on track. It's really easy, especially when you've got a lot of things going on, that to be able to pick up and drop off. You can't just sort of like tunnel vision focus onto the project for 24 hours a day or whatever. This way it allows me to sort of pick up and drop off and keep momentum going in the right places, because the temptation is just to jump in and do a bit here and do a bit there and do sort of like the nice bits. I know I am still procrastinating on the gearbox because I might have actually found a solution for that, which whereas this stuff here needs to be done. So I'm going to go get that engine loom, bring it over, pull up some pinouts and PDFs and look at some more old forum posts and get started. All right, now I've actually managed to get the 25 pinout and the 20 pinout. So I'm going to start from scratch with this one and yeah, work out which ones need to change. And after careful consultation between the two, it really is right down here. So we've got pin number 112. That's nowhere even near accurate, but pin number 112, injector number 4. Pin number 114, injector number 6. That's for the 20. 112 is actually injector number 6, and 114 is injector number 4 on the RB25. So those are the only pins that I have to swap around, which is great. There are some things here on the ECU that the 20 doesn't use. Obviously, pin number 113, VTC solenoid. It's kind of the big one there. We're not going to have VTC on the 20, but doesn't really matter. We can disable VTC when we do the tuning. Anyway, next thing I'm going to do is just go and research what on the 20 loom, what colours pin number 112 and 114R. And yeah, double check those. And then let's go grab that box over there. Here we go. Now, this is what we are interested in. We are going to have a look through and just double check that this is an all good nick. I'm pretty sure it is. It had an ECU already plugged into it at the time. Now this is interesting. We've got some cut wires here as well. So someone's had a little bit of a play. We've got this thing that's spliced in. It's spliced into what looks like yellow with red trace, and then goes into what looks like black with black with white trace as well, which looks to be a ground of some description. So, and that's a random speaker wire. So we're going to have a look through this, and we're going to identify where the ECUs, what's that behind me? We're going to identify, based on the pinouts on the ECU, where we're going to be looking. Now, this is interesting too, because a lot of the pinouts will actually have this. They don't look at the plug, they look at the ECU. So it's the mirror image of. You can actually check these as well with regards to how big the pins are, and also just double check a couple of colors. So just to verify you're on the right corner and looking at the right orientation. That's always something I like to do, is if I can find something that looks pretty, don't look for something like black with white trace or anything like that. You look for something that has got a lot more obvious coloring. So if I was to look at this as an example, so I've got the clip's a little bit broken, that should be all right. Let's take an example here. Another way to look at this is just count the pins as well. I can see on what's in front of me with regards to the pin out for the RB20 is that numbers 101 to 108. So there's 8 pins. So and I can see that this one down here, this end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 pins down here. And then the other side is 9 pins. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or is it 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, no, it says 9 pins there. Maybe I'm just talking absolute rubbish. And this goes to show, I'm actually looking at 2 documents right now. I'm looking at one from a forum post and one from an ECU online resource. And sure enough, the forum post is correct when it comes to the pinouts and what's there and the colors, but it's not correct with regards to they've got a screenshot there of pin location, and that one's wrong, but the one on the ECU resource is correct, but it doesn't have the colors. So trick for young players, do the double check. Anyway, let's do the double check now. So let's look for pin, no, I'm not going to do pin 50. Let's pick one from here. I've got this, well, I want to find out what this one here is. Yellow with green trace. It's on the bottom, and it's on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on the 10 pin side, which is that one there. It's on the outside, on the middle, but it's the 3rd from the inside. So that means absolutely nothing to you guys, but it is it's pin 53. Pin 53 is yellow with green trace. Woohoo! That's what we got. Yellow with green trace. Don't know whether you can see that or not. And yellow with green trace is the vehicle speed sensor output signal. So I don't know why that's cut, but it is. Anyway, is that not one of these? Oh yeah, there's yellow with green trace there, coming out of there. Might be something to do with some kind of mobilization. Anyway, let's have a look at this. What's yellow with red trace? So if yellow with green trace is 53, and that's where 53 is there. So we are mirror image, and we're up to yellow with red trace on the top side, and fourth in from over from the plug. 10, 9, 8, pin number 7. Now, funnily enough, I know what pin number 7 is. That's the speed signal for the RPM. So I'm going to undo this stuff here. Right, now I tried to do a bit of a repair job here. I couldn't quite get the heat shrink over the pin after I pulled it out, so I just split it and kind of double-sided it, and it seems to have come up all right. It's better than what it was. My next thing was, because I didn't really want speaker wire, I do need the TAC, the RPM output, but I don't want this, so go away. However, yellow with red trace. So I thought, oh sweet, oh hang on a second, look, oh, there's a random plug here with a yellow with red trace. So what did I do? I was like, oh, I'll see if it works. Am I going to be that lucky that I just go ahead and go, oh yep, you know, just jam that in there. I have just recently replaced the battery on that as well. Actually, I replaced the battery and it still was like not working, so I've actually pulled it apart and got it working again. Now, so yellow with red trace, and with this open I can access the back, and it doesn't work. You can see that just stayed at 1 the whole time. So I'm like, okay, well then there's obviously another yellow with red trace wire here, and I think I found it not there, not there, there. Now we can see this one here, yellow with red trace. So let's move him, pop him off. Bye bye, see you later, you're a quitter anyway. Over here, so we've got him in there, and bada bing bada boom, we have it. So I know that, turn him off, this piece here, someone's gone through and cable tied it all together. That's a decent cable tie. Use these half-C snips instead. Right, so we've got this. So we've got, I think that is to do with, I don't know, I'll figure that out later. But at least I now know that that one there is the one that we're after for RPM. And I could even trace that back to this one here if I wanted to. If there's nothing else of use in that plug, because none of that's going to none of that is really going to anything. Well, we've got this here, I've got to figure out what that is. I guess this is the beauty of this, is going through and identifying, because it's not going into a factory application, we can just pull out whatever we need. Pretty sure these are our ECCS and maybe even our AC relay as well. AC accessory relay, but we'll work that out as we go. Anyway, so during that time lapse you saw me go through and actually pull that one out and de-pin it. Having these things and getting the right one to use as well, I'm going to try and do that. It is quite a skinny one, don't need a lot of pressure. If you're exerting too much pressure, don't force it, because these things are pretty brittle. Anyway, let's do the next 2 pins, which is what? Pin 112 and pin 114 is what we're going to switch around. So we're going to confirm that 112 and 114 are over on the low count side. so which is over here, and that the colours were 112 and 114 are on the bottom, so they're on the underside here. I'll try and get this around so you guys can see. Yeah. Now we are looking for white with blue trace and white with black trace. You can see white with blue trace right there, and that is on the third from the inside, which is the 114, which is correct. And then we want 116, which should be towards the inside. 114 and 112, not 116, 112. So 2 towards the outside, which is that one there. White with black trace, white with blue trace. So we've found them now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this this bit here off. We're going to pop them off. I'm just going to leverage the end bits, hold that up, and then pop the pins, swap them over. Right, that's all done. So we've now got white with black trace and pin number 1, 2, 3 across, which is 114. And 114 used to be white with blue trace. So maybe you can see these in here. I'll try and zoom in. So those are moved around. I tried to time lapse or at least record that, but that didn't work. So those two are moved around. Woohoo! And I can just pop that over, and that's all good. Right. Now, all of this combined makes me think that this might have had a little bit of a dodgy past. It could be as simple as someone lost their key. Or, yeah, something maybe a little bit more nefarious has happened with this engine and loom. Anyway, I'm not casting any judgments at all. I am just trying to make sure that this, when we plug it in, this loom works. Anyway, we've done what we needed to do as far as changing the pins around for injectors 4 and 6. So that's all done. And also a quick hint with that as well. Bring this over. Now you can see with all the pins here, all going around. Now I'm going to try and get this as close as I can. Now, when I'm just moving one, they actually have a little bit of slop there, right? When you're poking in this tool to release the pin, what you want to do is when you're trying to depin it, you want to make sure that that is pushed in, okay? Not pulling against the little lock tab, whatever it is that's holding the pin in. You want to push against it so it's not hard up against that. If you push it in, it then makes the little plastic tab that you're actually using this for to move up has space to move. This can get in between and move it up. So you poke that in, hold pressure against, and then pull and wiggle. If it doesn't come with like a little bit of pressure, try again. Again, making sure that you push in. Can even just give it a bit of a wiggle as you're poking that in from the other side. So that's the way I found worked for me, and I have found that out by ruining plugs. So learn from me. All right, I'm gonna tidy all this up now. I'm pretty damn hungry right now. Chickens are singing a song to their people. I'm going to label a few things that I've found out with regards to the loom, identify and pull out some of those wires that I'm not too sure where they're going, and just do a quick label on those. So in the heat of getting the car running, if we need to find something out because, hey, we're hitting the starter but the ECU's not communicating or anything like that, then we need to know those things. So yeah, in the future when we're actually doing a video of the first start and all that, and this doesn't work, you can yell at me in the comments. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Hope you learned something. Got a bit of disgusting wiring to tidy up. Okay, see you later. I'll catch you in the next one.